Well, I'm live. I haven't done this for quite some time, going live on YouTube. So if you're coming here to watch the rerun, g'day. And this is the Garden Creator Club. Well, the Garden Creator Hub really is a place that I started just recently, a new membership, and it's a free place currently at the moment. And I do a lot of Q&A stuff in there, just sort of bringing up topics and answering and discussing information and topics about what's happening right now in people's gardens. So that's pretty interesting. And I've started a bit rough here at the start because I was having a rest and I thought, you know what, I really just need to sort of get in here and have a crack at going live again. I've sort of run out of my experience of doing that. So I've got to get sort of back into the role of things. And I thought, you know what, why not have a Q&A and where people can ask me anything related to growing food. It's like have a tea with Marty or have a coffee with Marty, however you want to call it. If I keep on doing those, that's what we'll work on that. I drink tea, I don't drink coffee. Sometimes I'll have a coffee. But anyway, that's sort of unrelated. What I want to do is, as people are coming on and they've got questions regarding gardening topics, specifically growing food. Now, it could be anything from micro farming, permaculture, horticultural aspects, growing in containers, worm farming, composting. The list could go on. I've been in the game for a few decades now, and I'm a horticulturist and in agribusiness, and yeah, I want to share my knowledge with you. So I'll just wait for a question to come up. Now, just keep in mind that really no question is really regarded as silly or stupid or anything like that. What we want to do is have a question come up, and then I'll do my very best to answer it and provide some value and help the person that's maybe struggling with something. Like at the moment, I've been sort of struggling with this crazy weather change because it's been spring. Well, it's spring here where I live in. I live in Mullumbimby in northern New South Wales, Australia, which is, give some context, is approximately 50 kilometres south of the Queensland border. So I'm subtropical, and we can get sort of like this edging thing of temperate weather and then tropical weather, and it can really go up and down. Especially in spring, it can be pretty wild. Where in autumn, it sort of just slowly pitters in and gets cooler. It's quite nice. Where here, it sort of can get hot and then cold and then get extreme hot. And we had extreme heat for a few days, and the seedlings struggled. And then after that, we had rain, and the blight got into my tomatoes and things. And so it's always an ongoing battle. But I want to see where there's any questions here. Someone needs to fire away anything, just say hello or something, so I can get back on a roll of seeing where the questions turn up in the software and stuff like that. So that'd be good to get a little bit of help while I grab a sip of water. And if there's anyone here from the Garden Creator Hub in the membership, say hello and let me know if you're enjoying it over there. It's really growing fast. And we've got our first question, Witching in the Kitchen. Hey, Marty, do you grow asparagus? No, I haven't grown asparagus, but I have eaten it out of a friend's garden who's been growing it for quite some time. And yeah, he said to me, man, it's so good, asparagus fresh, you can eat it straight out of the garden. I'm like, oh, yeah, right. He broke a bit, he goes, try this. I'm just going, wow, yeah, that's that's sensational. So I haven't grown it, but now I've been a renter for a very long time, and moving around and stuff hasn't been so easy to do that. But now I've got more permanent situation. I'm building a food forest. I've got raised beds. Yeah, I could possibly head along that line, and I keep going to do it, and I forget other things that get in the way. But thank you very much for sharing the first question and getting the ball rolling, so to speak. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, this is the Garden Creator Hub place where I run my other community, and I run a live show and things in there and talk to other creators and other gardeners and stuff, and that's pretty fun. So anyway, someone definitely has to have some type of problem in the garden or some type of question for me. Let's go to the next one. There we go. Rick Nielsen. G'day, Rick. Our steamy humidity isn't as temperamental as living in Thailand. No, no. And yeah, I was in Thailand for 4 years. The best farming I saw, well, I ran a surf school when I lived there. My daughter Karen was born there in Bangkok. But yeah, so I saw some great farming up in the north and up just north outside of Chiang Mai. And it was run by the King's Project then. So the King's passed away now. But yeah, it was awesome. And but yeah, I remember the first year of living there, and man, I went there down from Vietnam with my surfboard and stuff, and I went there right at the hottest time of the year, and man, it was hot cooking. Yeah, but one thing that opened my eyes, and I probably need to start growing these through the summer season, is the pink Thai tomato. They handle the heat quite well. Maybe they handle the humidity quite a bit better too. Need to look into those because I've had a lot of blight in my tomatoes again. And I'm doing everything to fight it, but I don't know how it got in there. But yep, we're still harvesting though. Last year I lost nearly all of them. Anyway, fire away. I'm sure we've got more questions here. You want to say g'day? I'm still working on the theme for this, but it's basically ask me anything to do with growing food or any question that you may have, or if you just want to say hello, pop in the chat box. I'll pull it across. And this is not being pre-recorded. I don't know if I will leave it up on here inside the YouTube. I'll ask you guys what you think on that. I just got to fix my shirt up. I need one of those teams, you know, where they make up. It's just me in the background here. So anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear from you all. And here we go. I'm still getting used to the software here, so just a bit of patience with me. Hi, Marty. It's been 6 months since I've had time to tune in. Great to see you looking well from Germany. Hey, Ryan. Good on you, man. Come over and see us. Come over and join the Garden Creator Hub, man. It's a great community, and we got internationals around there as well. And you can chat with lots of different people and watch the live shows in there. And yeah, it's really, really cool. And everyone shares. And how do I put it into words? Because we're growing very quickly. We're like at about 80 members now. And it's been just over, I think we're just going nearly on 2 weeks. So it's been great. And people are really, really enjoying it, and no ads, which is really cool. I like having no ads in there. So, yeah, great to see you, Ryan. Thanks for coming in, mate, and dropping in. You never know who's going to turn up onto these live shows. As I said, I'm trying to get the swing of things, get back into it. I used to be quite comfortable in here. But, yeah, let's just go. I was having a rest, and I thought, you know what? I need to get out there and just say g'day to people and add some value to people's lives. And Witching in the Kitchen, I love growing pink Thai eggs. Yes, they do well. I've got to get some seed. And so they like the tropics. They handle the humidity. I'm pretty sure. Let me know. Are they an heirloom, or are they? I guess they are, because you got to keep. They wouldn't be crossbreeding them all the time. So maybe they're an heirloom. Let me know. I need a bit more information about those pink Thai eggs. All right. Rick, have you increased the population of earthworms in your soil since you made it more fertile? Oh, man, it's exploding. It's exploding so much that we had a dry period, and there's a whole lot of ibis around here. You know, they got the nickname bin chickens in Australia. So if you don't know what they are, they're a big, tall bird with a big, long beak. International, he's here that are watching, and they burrow down in the soil, and they're good because what they do is they'll aerate the soil and create holes where the water and air can get down in, and you need to have them around. But because it's been so dry, there hasn't been a food access for them, and they just come and they stand on seedlings, and you know, and they steal compost worms out of the compost bin, and yeah, they're a real pain in the bum. I don't mind them every now and again, but they're just consistently there. So That's because I've got a lot more worms. But yeah, as I'm building soils and improving the soils and improving the water flow and the air structure and all that type of stuff, yeah, definitely got some big natives, and we've got some really good like compost worms sort of in a lot of areas now. And yeah, it's it's burgers. Yeah, it's, I have to say yes to that one. Here we go. Everyone's starting to get on here now. This is cool. This is really cool. I really like it. We've got 15 people watching. Wow. Who would have thought on a Thursday night? Anyway, look, ask me anything. I'm here to answer your questions. And I think we're going to call it coffee hour or the garden creator Q&A, or so the garden creator Q&A. That sounds really good. Have coffee at the garden creator Q. No, it's too much, isn't it? We'll work it out. Let's work it out together. You let me know, because basically that's my new community, the Garden Creator Hub, and it's firing away. People love being in there and learning a lot, sharing, meeting people all around the place, connecting up more locally, and there's talking seed swapping, and we're discussing about mulch yesterday, their favorite mulches. That was amazing. All the tips. And I tell you, I learned more from my community than I do watching a lot of content. So it's just been insane. Yeah, I'm really loving it. Anyway, Ryan Grado, my beer garden is almost over for the season here in Germany. I like it at the beer garden, and I'll start back on the microgreens. Awesome. I'll be a regular student for you after this month. Looking forward to learning from you. Hey, that's awesome, Brian, and doing microgreens as well. I haven't been doing a lot of microgreens lately, but I have been sprouting and doing a lot of seedlings and things. But top stuff, man. Really stoked. Like I said, there'll be a link in the description. You'll see it there. So you just head over to I've got it on School, and I'm still working it out. It's still in sort of a beta format, but people are really enjoying it. There's no ads in there, and people just can connect, and you can chat. There's a chat box, and you can like share photos, and you can put in the images in the feed and stuff. And it's been really, really great. Anyway, yeah, awesome, Ryan. And we've got another one. Macca98 says, "G'day, Marty from Brisbane, Queensland." Hey, Macca. Great to see you here. This is unreal, all the people turning up. And just sporadically didn't announce anything or anything. Hello, Pritis Singh. Yeah, g'day. Lovely to see you here. Thank you so much. If you got any questions for me, please feel free to fire away. Who are you? I am Marty from the Marty's Garden Show on YouTube, professional horticulturist, and I run a community called the Garden Creator Hub, where members like YouTubers and stuff come over, and they're joining over there, and I'm talking with them on live shows, and we're running the community where we talk a lot about gardening and discuss all the different problems together, discuss what we're doing now, what we're going to do in the future. Yeah, it's really great, and still in beta mode. But yep, that's me. I'm Marty. They call the OG. I think there's a new word for it. OG YouTuber. Been here a long time. Hey, and Nathan. Hey, Marty. The kids and I love watching your videos. Keep at it, buddy. We're down in Newcastle. Oh, awesome. I love it when I hear, because I usually think that mostly it's like the older crew that are watching my videos. So that's really good. Stoked to hear that. Say good day to the kids for me. That's so cool. Hey, from India. I thought it may be, because I know a few Singhs. We got a few Singhs around here from India. So yeah, stoked. All right, Australia. So the slang of Australia. I'm just joking. Bit of fun. I'm from Australia, on the east coast of Australia, right on the border. If you know, they've got New South Wales, Queensland on the east side. Well, I'm right on that border of the Queensland, New South Wales border. It's a show called Byron Bay, and it's the most easterly point in Australia, and we're first to see the sunrise. And I live just near that. Yeah, so let's keep it rolling. Happy days. Marty, I let my worm farm dry out. Uh-oh. Can I bring it back by just feeding, or will I need to get new worms? you need to go through and check if there are any down deep. Just go through it and look. And if you find that, like you can find that you would maybe think there's 100, I'd try bringing it back. Yeah, just add some more bedding. Don't feed it so much with a lot of food. What you can do is just add a little bit more bedding, like a bit more cocoa fiber. Make sure it's nice and moist, and just get a tiny bit of rice, about a 50-cent piece. Put a bit of water, bit of cardboard or newspaper or something over the top that's moist. Give it a couple of days and see if they come to it, and see if there's any cocoons in there as well. And you'd be surprised, they sometimes hide in corners and up against the plastic and things like that. So yeah, let's move to the next one. What does bring in better mode mean? So better mode is like when we're trialing something. So I'm trialing the Garden Creator Hub, and it's looking really good. I think we're pretty much going to move into stage 2, that everyone's having a good time. We're developing a good culture in there. People are learning, sharing. We're all bouncing off each other, and it's been really great. And we're creating videos in there, me and my wife. We do a vlog where we make Filipino meals that come out of the garden. That's really fun. Shirley, my wife, works quite a lot, but we're getting them done. I also do vlogs in there as well outside of Marty's garden, and then curate everything that's going on inside and connect people together. And it's been really great being more like serving more than but anyway, better was the question. So sorry, I'm getting a bit off track. Macca 9870, g'day Macca. You were here just a minute ago. I think I answered the question for you. I'm originally from Wagga and hoping to move back soon to take up more gardening. We get really chilly and long-lasting frost. What effect do you think this will have on my worm farms and hay bale beds? Look, there's a way around this. Is you actually create a hot compost mix through the winter, and they just hang on the edge. So you just need to keep adding nitrogen to it if you've got enough, and keep it sort of warm. You need to have that 1 cubic square meter, and you start it before the frost, and you just sort of add to it. Just make sure it doesn't get too hot, because you'll do the opposite. You'll cook the worms. But yeah, you can do that, and you can also get like if you've seen my videos, the biggest worm farms ever. So you dig them into the ground, couple of feet, put in some compost, and then some hot compost on top. And the ground always keeps it at a stable temperature. It doesn't fluctuate as much as it does outside. So they'll get to where they want to go, and you probably won't see them for a while. And as soon as it warms up, they'll come up to the top and grab all that new food and stuff. So yeah, there's ways to do it, Macca. You just need to be able to keep them warm. Yeah. And hot composting, look, they do it in the snow, this hot composting stuff, and keep I've taught a couple of people that, and they've told me that they've pulled it off. There's a guy in America that did it recently, and he's done 2 seasons now. They get snow. So yeah, crazy, man. It works. All right. Thank you. I'll try that. No problem. This is what we're here for. This is the Garden Creator Show Q&A. This is what I'm going to call it, right? I call it having coffee with Marty in the community, but I think we need to work on that, make it more catchy. What do you reckon? Let's have a go back here. Abby McLaren, my asparagus is skinny and twisty. Why and how to fix it? You know what? I said, ask me anything. And I've never grown much asparagus. But I've never grown asparagus, I should say. But I'm going to put the horticultural brain on of what a plant needs. So my guess is that you need to add more compost. That's basically it. You need to sort of add more organic matter on the surface and let it rot down in and get to the root system. I would also get a good liquid feed to get things going at first, and just make sure you want to see those worms start all moving around it. You want to see soil life all around it, and you want to mulch things like asparagus quite well in the season when you know, it's pulled back sort of thing. So it's coming up with a spike. When it's pulling back, you want to, it's drawing its energy back down. You want to have food source so it can draw back down, because what happens is plants in the winter, let's use a tree as an example. This is a really good, now we're kicking some butt, even though I haven't grown asparagus, but I want to share this with you. So a tree in winter will take its sap down, and it will store it as a bank, right? It'll store all those sugars and energy and everything like that in its root structure down below. It'll share a little bit with the microbes and the soil biology and things like that. So it's got a good bio share thing happening. So it's swapping around, you know, being friendly. And then as soon as it warms up and sun days are getting longer, light's getting more bright. Yeah, and it's just getting warmer, ground's warming up. It pulls the sap back up. And so asparagus is doing, those type of plants do something like that. So yeah, just get it onto a more feeding the plant, and you'll do much better. It'll thicken up. But compost and mulch is definitely the key. It's really the answer for 99% of most of things. Unreal. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Hot compost, my friends. All right, Justin Arnold. What's the best Thai pumpkin for curries? Now you're really throwing it in there now. I said it to the Thai pink tomato, and then all of a sudden the Thai pumpkin. Look, I really like, there's so many types of pumpkins. I like the Japanese. That's the one that I like the most. And look, there's a few others, but yeah, that's the one that I like. So I don't know anything about Thai pumpkins. I don't even know they actually have one. I think they grow all different types of international ones. But my wife and I, we just use the Jap pumpkin here, and she's Asian. And we make all different types of curries and stir fries. But you know what? I've got a friend who's a Thai chef, and I go to their restaurant where she works, and I'm going to ask her next time, because now my brain's ticking. So sorry, I can't give you a great answer for that, but I've got a funny feeling there might be a twist to that question, because I've never heard of a Thai pumpkin, to be honest. Not saying there isn't one. Mate, do you have any Madagascar beans? From Nathan. You'd love them. Let me know if you want some seeds, and we will send you some. I don't have any Madagascar beans, and yes, please do. I will have some. But you need to get over to the Garden Creator Hub. There's a link in the description. Join up there and connect with me there, and it's the best place to get me. I'm there half of the day, sort of in and out doing stuff, and it's really going ahead forward. So yeah, awesome stuff. All right, thank you very much, and let's move to the next one. Makes sense. The soil's pretty poor. Mate, look, no worries. Look, 99% of the time, soil is the secret formula, and you've got to go in and build on your soils. Now, if you're working in pots, you also actually feed, once you've got a good pot and the plant's growing, you also feed from the top by putting compost and mulch on top of big pots and bits of manure and things like that, and let it sort of go down in until the plant's so big that it just overtakes the pot. Then you've got to do it again. But that's what I do. I use a premium potting mix. I mix a bit of my compost through that, about 30%. Some worm cast if I've got some, little bit. Usually I don't always have it though, but there is worm cast in my compost because there's worms there. So yeah, and then I put it on. So usually like in a big pot where I've got fruit trees, a couple inches thick, and as it falls down, I just keep putting it on, and that works pretty good for me. So yeah, soils, it's really super important. It's not sexy because it's not that 5 things now to get to this right now that we need right now. But if you build it up and you do that and you build on your soils, you'll find that it becomes less work over time, and your plants just become more healthy. And yeah, it's a good way to go. All right, so there's got to be another question here for me. And look, as I said at the beginning of the show, no question is regarded as silly or stupid or anything like that. What we want to do is I want to get the best answer that I can. I don't know everything. I do know a fair bit, but I don't know everything. I think no one knows everything. I'm still learning every day. But being a horticulturist, I like to help as best as I can, and I believe I can 75%, hopefully 80% know when the question comes up. Hey, Rick, good to see you, man. Welcome to another live show. And it's really great. Like 21 people here watching. Took a while for the questions to roll in. But yeah, it's great to see you all here. And if you're new to the show, I'm Marty from Marty's Garden on YouTube. Qualified horticulturist, work mostly in ag, so growing food, what they call the OG YouTuber now. Been in here quite a while, and I'm started a new community called the Garden Creator Hub. And it's a place where people are going in and learning and growing together. It's just amazing, sharing all our knowledge and putting up really like posts. And like I said before, we're speaking about mulch. Today I put a post about worm farming, and it's just amazing what people write in there. I'm just like, wow, you're doing that and you do it that way. I really like that. I'm going to try that too. And people just, yeah, it's just the collective community. It's really, really great. All right. Big thumbs up, mate. Good on you, brother. All right. I have rock hard clay soil. Happy Days. This is back. I like it. I used to want to be one of my favorite shows was Happy Days when I was a teenager. Show my age now. Have a hard rock clay soil. Would the mulch treatment help with this? What are your thoughts on gypsum? Great question, because I have hard clay soil here where I live. It is like a rock, man. I'm telling you. And I've lived on sandy soil but just before I come here as well. If I had a choice between the two, and I was going to be, so choice between the two, and I'm going to answer your question. If I'm in a short-term rental, give me the sand. If I'm in a long-term strategy place, give me the clay. The reason is because clay holds more nutrients and you can work with clay better over time. Sand, you can actually get it going faster and grow things faster and get productive very quickly using the same method that I've been using. And I use a bale, then I put the compost on top of the bale, I build that way. But you do the same thing by lasagna, so doing lasagna stuff. But if you've got a brand new bed, it's rock hard, there's nothing growing in it hardly at all, there's not many roots in it or whatever, then you need to basically dig it up a little bit and open it up and then get some gypsum in there and water it in and just keep breaking it down a bit. Don't make it go to a fine tilth. You need to just keep it really blocky. Do it sort of half of what you would think, and then let the gypsum sort of go to work, and then start add some compost, and then start adding carbon layer, compost, carbon layer, compost. I get a big bale and I just put it there on the spot, and I just let it get really wet and moist with the weather, and then I put compost on top, and then so let it break down in a little bit, and then I plant into it, and then I grow some small crops and things on it. If I want to, I'll grab it and I'll put it somewhere else and use it as a mulch, or I'll just leave it on site. Generally 99%, 95% of the time I leave it on site, and the worms come up and the fungi comes up and grabs it and pulls the material down the ground. So it's actually working below the ground at the same time as above the ground. So build those lasagna beds, get the gypsum in first, get lots of air in there, and then watch where the water's going. That's really important. But, this is a great question, something that could go over to the Garden Creator Hub, no problem, and start like a whole thread on something like this, and you'd get the answers you get in there is just unreal. So, yeah, plenty gypsum and plenty of compost for sure. It's a long-term garden, going to start off with some raised beds while fixing the clay. Great idea. Definitely start off with the raised beds. That's what I did, and I was blessed that Mark from Self Sufficient Me donated the raised beds here where I live. The ones at the back, we got the ones from the front, actually from Sub Pod. So I've been very blessed in that regard, because when we first moved in, didn't have a lot of money until we got the compost business rolling, and now I sell compost from my front yard, and I get orders daily, so that's a whole new thing that's it's quite involved. It's not something I would talk about on here, but maybe in the community, in a course or something like that down the line. So yes, yeah, start off with some raised beds. Some raised beds and some pots is the way to go. Pots first, where you're building the raised bed so you can get some food going, and then sort of move from there. Okay, here we go. Just make sure I don't miss anything. And okay, so you just rolled in late. I'm Marty from Marty's Garden, and I'm the new founder of the Garden Creator Hub, which is my new community. And I'm here to answer your questions, anything to do with gardening. Hopefully I can get most of it right, and have some fun at the same time while we're doing it. Is there much of a difference in growth between foot-high raised beds and really high ones? That's a brilliant question. Sometimes I love coming in here live because I wouldn't think of stuff like this as a piece of content, but this is great. And I'm hopefully people are sort of like watching the rerun of this and didn't just skip because I did a really bad intro at the beginning, and catch this great content. So, right, the big garden beds. Now, the big ones, the tall ones, are really good for when if you've got injuries or you don't want to bend over much, you're old, you want to have things, or you're going to be there a long time. You think, hey, I'm going to be doing this when I'm an old man. Then yeah, you want to have the height as best you can that sort of comes up as high as you can. I've got the birdie beds and they come up to my chest height, perfect height for me, and I don't have to bend over. I can take care of this garden for years and years. And those birdie beds, Mark's told me he's had his so when I first moved in here, so I think he's had his 14 years or something now, and they're still going strong. So yeah, if you're doing that now, if you don't mind bending over a little bit, the lower ones are a bit less work. You really don't need, in my opinion, to have the big deep beds to grow really good crops and be successful. They're just easier to manage. The big ones are a lot more work filling up. They can be a lot more expensive to do at the start. But if you're going long-term vision, then yeah, use the hugelkultur method, fill them up, and then just start filling them up with really good compost. You can get bales like I did and just put the bales in there and put on compost on top and just do like bale gardening inside them once you've got the hugelkultur thing happening. And that's a really cheap way to do it. And it takes about 3 seasons to fill the bed up because they just fall down, but they get up to the right height and then down. And so they'll do that anyway, but more so. But that works really, really well. So much of a difference between the foot-high raised beds and really high one. If you've got really good soil below and you're building your soils, I don't think there's too much difference as far as the quality of the plant would go. Actually, the first stage would probably be better, because you're connecting to the ground. You don't have to worry about all the microbes and everything going in. Yeah, so I'd say it's probably better for short term. Long term, I would say the bigger ones. Anyway, hopefully that's answered the question, and I haven't raved on too much. Okay, just remember, raised beds can dry out quickly. They sure can. This is some good questions, some good answers in here. Let's go here. I use my shorter raised beds for tomatoes so I can reach low higher ones for greens. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think that's a good answer. But again, if you're going long term, because you can grow dwarf tomatoes as well, which I do sort of early season and late season, because they're determinants and they only grow to 2-3 feet high sort of thing. So yeah, they do really well in those large beds, and you can still reach them. Okay, Maka, would you consider growing corn in hay bale bed? We just need to stake them. Yeah. Look, you'd read the corn. You would need to probably plant some things like some beans and different things first. Some shallow rooted crops, like I go bok choy in mine first, and some beans and some cucumbers, things like that, and really let them sort of rot down a bit so they get the moisture's locked in. And I plant tomatoes and stuff in them, bigger root system. They go crazy. So I haven't grown corn in them, but I don't see why. But you would need to run You wouldn't even need some type of trellis, I don't think. You know, those corns, they stay pretty upright. So yeah, I would say they're pretty good. I'd do it. All right, Joe O'Halloran. Hey Marty, we have very hot days here in Perth. Feeding my worms. Would it be best to use chow and chicken pellets? Anything else? Well, the chow basically is a chicken pellet. You just get a good quality one. Don't overdo it too much because there's such a thing as protein poisoning. It's pretty uncommon, but I'd sort of go in between different feeds but yeah, just I think so. There's sort of like two different questions here. It says very hot days and feeding my worms. So they've got to come to the surface to sort of feed. So when it's really, really hot, I would sort of, and this is in spring, I'd sort of feed them more when it's going to be a sort of a cooler week. And then when it's really hot, I would sort of just, like manures and those type of things I think are better, and they can sort of come up and pull it down a little bit instead of coming to the surface so much. So it's a bit of a tricky one. I think you need to maybe re-elaborate the question a little bit better for me, and I can answer it if I've got that right anyway. So here we are, Q&A, the Garden Creator Club, my new community, link in the description if you want to get into learning stuff like this and digging deeper for the gold when we're doing these type of things with the whole community over there. So yeah, I'm waiting for another question. We've been running for like 36 minutes and it feels like I've been in here 5-10 minutes. It's been so much fun and it's been some great questions already. And like, don't be worried about if you're a beginner or intermediate or an expert in any way about any of the questions. No question is regarded as stupid. Like something like even like, is it best to water at what time of the day? Some people just don't know that stuff because they're just starting out and it's so important, So yeah, fire away. We have, yeah. Oh, okay, I've got that one. Excuse me. Let's go to the next. Is dolomite lime good in worm beds? When would you use it? So basically, the soil conditioner you see on the shop shelves that they sell for worm farming conditioner, it's just dolomite. So yeah, you just use it sparingly because it does change the acidic. So basically what you're doing is you're providing a mineral for them to go into their gut so they can have a bit of something to chew on and help with the digestive system. And it also sort of conditions and removes any acidity. If you've been overfeeding your farm too much, then yeah, you probably want to give it a sort of a bit of a sprinkle, but just every now and again. Look, I just use sort of crushed egg powder sort of for mine, and I'm just throwing in fresh bedding and stuff like that. I don't even own dolomite anymore. I've got some gypsum that I put in from time to time, but yeah, dolomite's good. But just use it sparingly, but probably half as much as what you would think. Do you grow any crops specifically for your chooks? I have over time grown, like sprouted the seed and also fermented the seeds. Now I just let them out in the afternoon, sort of after, when they get a little bit hungry again, run around. They run up and down a little bit on the sort of like the food forest area. They don't seem to go in there as much as I would like. I wanted them to go in there more, but anyway. And then they just sort of eat it. If I see some weeds or something like that that's coming at some plantain coming up out of the grass, I just leave it because I know the chickens will nail it. So I don't really grow anything specifically, other than I might sprout something from time to time for them. But yeah, they probably need. It'd be really nice. I might think of doing that again soon. So thanks for bringing that up. It's a good time now because it's getting warm to sprout things really quickly. Green materials heat up. They want to escape. Maybe better with more browns in compost bins in summer. Just keep moist. Yeah, it's that's true. Browns probably more so in the summer. Greens more in the winter, which is the nitrogen stuff. Can you grow special crops for ducks? Now, remember I said that I probably know about 75%. Well, this is one that I've never done. but I'm pretty sure there's someone here that will answer this. There's a type of green, it's called duckweed. That's why it's called duckweed, because it's fed to ducks. And you just grow it in a pond. You grow it in little tubs and stuff like. You can buy it anywhere online, and it just feeds off the nitrogen in the water, and you can feed them that. And thinking of that, I should probably need to get some duckweed for my chickens too. Maybe I've got my mind thinking now, but yeah, duckweed, that's the one. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the bin cool. When I put food scraps in, it heats up the bin too much, and we have, yeah. So this lady that was following me, she lived across the road. I've moved, so not there anymore. But she used to put bottles of water in the freezer, plastic bottles, like like Coca-Cola's, lemonade, whatever, that stuff. Then she would put them in the top level, all along the top, and that would keep them cool. And she would feed down on the next level down, and that worked really well. And it got pretty hot there for a while. She was doing fine. Her worm farms were just smashing. I was like, maybe you should be teaching the show. But anyway, yeah, just give that a go, man. 2 tiers, some bottled waters at the top, ice bottles, and yeah, just go more to sort of like things that are not going to heat up. Maybe do feed them some of the chicken pellets. Yeah, heard of duckweed too. Yeah, I've grown it before. Actually, I'm going to get some more. Runner ducks are supposedly good for the garden. Don't know much about runner ducks. I don't have space enough for ducks, and I've probably now got too many chickens. But anyway, that's a whole new story. But yeah, great. Awesome to have you here. And look, if you're new and you've just come in, I'm Marty from Marty's Garden. I'm a horticulturist, and I'm here to share and help you with any gardening questions you may have. I run a community called the Garden Creator Hub, where myself and there's other YouTubers in there that I interview and help them with their creative journey. And also we talk everything about growing food. And it's just unreal, whatever topics we're into at the time. And then everyone just gets into it, and it's just unreal learning from a collective thing. You can learn so much so fast and just improve so much better than just listening to someone like myself. All right, ducks love watermelons. I just got some dwarf watermelon seed in. They just come up. With some rock melon seeds in. But yeah, I quite like ducks too. We got some that just live up around the corner, and you see them around spring trying to cross the road, and you let people stop. But everyone's so crazy on the road. I worry about the poor little ducks that live up there. Anyway, look, if you've got any gardening questions, fire away. No question is regarded as stupid. We've got some great questions in here so far. Love to hear them, love to answer. I don't know everything, but I'll do the very best I can to answer what I can, and or give you, maybe even you can find an answer from other people that are watching the show in the chat as well. All right, here we go. I saw in IGA Sydney $5 roasted chooks. I'm sure they'll be small. Maybe. I don't know. I don't go into IGA. Actually, IGA is so expensive here. Are you into seed saving? Yes, I am. And I'll tell you something that I just did today. I've been harvesting cucumbers and tomatoes. And what I do is I chop them. So I get my cucumber, I chop them up, and then I grab from the middle part of the cucumber where the seed is a thin slice. And then I put that into a pot, or I put that into the ground where I want it to grow. And I did that successfully last season. I didn't save any of those seeds until way down the line, till the last crops. It was too hot to grow them anymore, or too wet. And yeah, I just do that. And I grab little tomatoes, that chop them in half and put them in a pot. Now what happens is around the outside of the material of, say, the cucumber or tomato, it actually ferments in the ground, and then that kicks off all the microbes, all the sugars and everything like that, and they all come up together, and then you just choose sort of the best one. So yeah, and then I do dry seeds out and save them. We've got an Ampalaya, which is the Filipino name for, now I'm speaking Filipino because my wife's Filipino. Ampalaya. That's a bit of melon. Save some of that, and we've got a great plant growing better than last season already. We've got, say, some chili plants, seeds, they're doing good. So, yeah, some tomatoes, things. So, some stuff I just keep buying, like lettuce and bok choy, things like that. But, yeah, I save a lot of seed. And there's a seed swap. They swap seeds in the Garden Creator Hub, which is, there's a link in the thing there. So if people are living locally near to you, yeah, you can just talk to them, chat to them in there and swap seeds. It's a great way to do it. This week's special. Oh yeah, $5. $5 chicken roast. Black soldier fly. Nathan Peter C4S has taken over my worm farm. Too many greens, I think. Anyway, feeding those things to my quail now. Good, the quail thicken right up. Yeah, just back off on the food, man. Just throw some more carbon or some more compost sort of in there that's already broken down. That's not a food source for the flies, and you'll be fine. Takes a little bit of time, but should be right. Like seed saving onions and garlic too. Carrots are easy too. Yeah, look, whatever you're into and whatever you eat the most, just save those. I should be probably saving my bok choy, but I've got that much seed that I bought. I'm not worried about saving that right at the moment. But I've got heirloom seeds as well. All right, so great to have you all in here, and thank you so much for turning up and coming in and checking out the show here, where I answer all your gardening questions, and then we have a good chat and get along. And yeah, it's a live show. You've got to love it, right? So yeah, this has been so successful. I think I might do more of these. Oh, excuse me. This is what happens when you're live. Look at this. We found this jar at one of the op shops. I love it. This is what I'm drinking out of. It says established 1898. What has been established? I don't know. That's the beauty about this cup. Established 1988, but what has been established? Maybe it was on the lid, but then there's a silver lid that had no writing on it. Yeah. Good cup, though. It's nice and heavy. If I was a beer drunk, I don't drink much beer anymore, but back in my day, that would have been a great beer jugger. Anyway, getting back to it. You got any questions for me? I'm not here to just entertain you all along. I've got to answer some gardening questions. It's a Garden Creator Hub evening, and that's what I'm here for. So far away, no questions are regarded as silly or stupid. We've still got 17 people watching, and don't know when people are coming and going. I just see a little number at the top there. If you've been here and you're getting value, enjoying the show, give us a thumbs up, or one of those hype things. I don't even know if they work good. People told me they've hyped this and hyped that, and I haven't seen much difference. I reckon YouTube's hyping it up too much, but yeah, give us a hype anyway, or a thumbs up, I'd prefer. And have you planted out fruit trees? This is from Lisa819 in their large pots. Yes, I have. With the bottom cut away so the roots can go down into the soil. Yes, I have in the past. It's clay and hard to dig, so I thought this might be a solution. Okay, I've got a good answer for this. It's a solution short term. It's not a good solution long term. So a longer term one is actually, if you can build, say, up around about 300 high and with some type of border, fill it full of compost, dig it up a bit, your hole, and get some gypsum in there and a bit of blood and bone, a bit of potash. You can buy blood and bone potash mixes together, and then get some compost and just plant it in there. So you've got it raised up a bit. And then when you pull away the sides, eventually, there's not going to be a problem. There is too high and the plant's gotten too big, and the central stem's too big, and all the roots are up high in the system, and then you're going to create a problem long term, because when the plant gets really big and wants to bust out of there, then yeah, that could be a problem. So yeah, I just go up a couple of feet, yay high, and sort of do it like that. Just build on your soils, and you can start your plant in a nice big pot first, and then just move it into the ground later. Work on your ground, and then when you feel it's ready, get it ready, and just create a big mound like I do, and plant into the mound. That works really well. So hopefully I've helped with that. It is a solution, but people are looking for quick fixes, and the quick fixes could create a long-term problem. All right, nice to see another live show. Hello to the family. Thanks, man. Yeah, everyone sends their love back to you, Rick. My hand goes, yeah, I've got a bit of Italian going on in there. Oh, that's funny. Looks like a good swear jar. Oh, yeah. It was established, there's a lot of swearing going on. Established 1898. Pretty old, whatever it was. Good story to tell, I reckon. But yeah, good swear jar. Oh, there's a little logo thing that maybe was there around the outside there. Anyone got any idea what that might be? I have absolutely none. I really don't know. But I like it because I've got to look for the lid again. It's a screw on lid. Anyway, getting off on a rant there. Let's keep going, keep on rolling. Roots are shallow as it grows roots, go out of the edges of the trees. And that's to do with the last question. I'm growing turmeric too, Marty. Awesome. I've added lots of worm castings, homemade horse manure, compost. Any tips? Yeah, good mulching. You know, I think you're doing the right thing. Just make sure that soil's nice and friable. And, you know, just turmeric, I think, doesn't really like the full-on hardcore afternoon heat. So, you know, depending where you are and the climate and everything like that. But, yeah, sounds like you're doing the right thing. Yeah, I don't really have much advice other than maybe you could get some of the compost and the worm castings and sort of make liquid tea it. Sort of every now and again, that's what I sort of recommend to a lot of my customers that are coming here and buying compost and they're getting started. And so I'm like, yeah, just, you know, while you're feeding the soil and getting the soil going, get the nutrients down to the plants via water because they drink the water and uptake the nutrients that way. And as the ground's growing and getting better and getting, you know, a lot of life into it, you can get some feed to the plants. All right. Ta, you are very welcome. This has just been absolutely great. I'm so stoked that we've had people here. We've had some people just sort of coming and going, but we're back to like 20 now. So if you just popped in, I'm Marty, horticulturist from the Marty's Garden Show and the Garden Creator Hub, where I've got a community where we answer all different types of questions like this as a community. I vlog in there. Me and my wife, we create garden recipe videos, Filipino ones, which are really cool. That's becoming sort of like it's taken off now, actually, the Filipino food across the world. And yeah, and then we're, you know, it's only new. It's only just going into 2 weeks. It's still in its beginning stages where I'm test piloting what they call beta mode, but it's going great. And so if you enjoy stuff like this, you'll enjoy it much more over there for sure, because you can connect with so many like-minded people and grow together. All right, growing any potatoes, Marty, or anyone? No, not growing any potatoes at the moment, just sweet potatoes. I think it's a bit warm here for potatoes at the moment. They do better where I am sort of through the winter, but I guess it's, you know, varieties and all that. But I've never been a big potato grower, but we grew some last season. All right, let's keep rolling. Potatoes are expensive in Sydney. 16 for 5. Whoa. Man, food is out of control. Like this, it's a whole new, you can create a whole new channel and a whole new subject and speak for literally months about the expenses of food and solving that problem. It's a massive one. It's one that we talk a lot about in the community now because there's some members in there that have just, you know, started gardening in the last few years, and they've done it. They've started it out of necessity, and now they love it. And yeah, so there's one special YouTuber in there that's been YouTubing for a little while. She's down in Victoria, and she started just like that. And so you'll get to meet her, and I won't mention the name right now, but yeah, if someone knows who she is, mention it in the comments. That will be a bit of fun. We've got 2 Victorian YouTubers actually in the community now. All right, so let's keep going here. Jolie, hopefully I got that right, Jolie. Excuse me. The water's getting me. All right, hello. Just wondering if you can put food scraps on top of a small raised garden bed full of excess compost from compost delivery for the worms that have taken up residence, or just leave it? Okay, this is a really great question. I'm just I can answer that for you. So just wondering if you can put food scraps on top of a small raised garden bed full of excess compost from compost delivery. I would trench. So if you don't have too many plants and things, you don't want to attract flies and create problems and stuff, because you'd have to put it down, you'd have to put a lot of mulch on top and let it sort of break down that way. Or you can do a trench. And so you dig down a foot or two and you just start filling up the trench and sort of just move along and then cover it over, and then put the mulch over the top. And people have been doing that for hundreds of years and had success with it. So yeah, look it up. Just trench composting. That's the way to go. That's what I would recommend. Okay, Sydney is nuts, Rick. Mate, it's nuts here too, I'm telling you. We grow a lot of food, so thank goodness. But today we had to go and buy some cereal and some ice cream and some toilet paper and all those sort of nicks and knacks that we can't grow, and still was pretty hefty. And I saw the guy in front of me that was buying all the stuff that we could grow, and his bill was twice the size of mine. I was like, man, I'm so glad. Even though it's a lot of work, you got to understand that if you're not ready to put in the work, you're not going to get the food. But I was just looking at it. I was just like, thank goodness we only need to buy things like rice and pasta and stuff like that. So we could even make our own tomato sauces if we want to. I've made some tomato things recently. We've got a lot of tomatoes. But anyway, it's crazy out there. Let's keep rolling. We've got some great questions coming in. Perth, I planted about 10 seeds and covered with straw, and I got about 15 kilograms of spuds, horse manure, compost, and worm castings. Thanks so much for sharing that. It's gold, and it's inspirational for other people to read. So thank you. And me too, Rick. I'm growing Bamda burger. Dude, that's hard. And blue Congos. I buy chats usually as they are cheap, but growing these as they are unusual in raised beds, and they're doing so well at the moment. That's really cool. Awesome. Like I said, inspirational. Happy days. You can make some yummy ice cream with whipped egg whites with sugar, whipped cream, and add whatever flavor you like, vanilla or Coke. I'm going to have a go at that. And I'm an ice cream holic, so maybe if I do it, I'll eat too much ice cream, so that might be dangerous. But that sounds really cool. Thanks for sharing. Really cool. Here we go. Next one. Jolly. Okay, thank you. I will look up trench composting. I find your videos very motivating. 23 and planted my first vegetable garden ever this year. Thanks for all the information. Thank you, Jolly, for just turning up and coming and being a part of this. And, like, people love to hear about the journeys of new gardeners. I know I do, because I'm not a new gardener anymore. So I can't come along. I can't start in that whole new fresh journey. It's exciting. I'd love to see you over the Garden Creator Hub. There's a link in the description. Come over and join and share the journey with us. Put your photos in, chat with the community there, and yeah, grow together. It's just really, really cool. Nice Perth potatoes. Ooh, here we go. All right, so there's some spud lovers in here. We grow mostly sweet potatoes here. And we use the tips a lot for cooking. So we're going to be doing that in some videos coming up, some vlogs coming up, cooking vlog, Filipina recipe. So garden to recipe Filipina. There's a mouthful. Vlogs, they're sort of like recipe vlogs, and putting them in a classroom format, which is the free area. So you can come in and access those. And yeah, it's something. I didn't really eat those until my wife started cooking them for me, and now I love them. You can also use the tips of pumpkins and so many things. It's really, really cool. And you just grow a lot of them, and you just go out and you've got some veggies, and you don't, it's like they're endless. But got to watch out. At the moment, we've got a lot of grasshoppers, and they're starting to come back, and they like eating the sweet potato. And I also throw any spare, so if I've got too much sweet potato, I throw it in the chicken coop, and they love smashing. That's high in protein. So yeah, it's good for us too, because it's high in protein. Marty, in USA have garlic festival, and they sell garlic ice cream. Oh, I wonder if they sell breath mints too at the same time. That's a lot of fun. I would definitely go to that if it wasn't too far away from where I was. Thanks, Rick, for sharing that. That's classic, man. So funny. Anyone figured out what this cup is yet? Any oldies out there? 1898. Still don't know. And I'm halfway through. I started at the beginning of the show with a full cup. I'm halfway through. I get thirsty talking a lot. I burnt my throat out. Many years ago, I was surfing in Indonesia, little island called Lombongan. And we used to go down, it's a funny story. And we used to go down to, after we go surfing, there was a little tiny, it's not a bar, it's a little, they call them a room. And it's a little thing made out of bamboo, and they'd have a little bit of food there. And they'd have a fridge. And the fridge would never get very, very cold. So you go down there in the morning and say, hey, mate, put half a dozen bintangs in it. It's going to be 4 or 5 of us come down. So it's a big bottle, plus or minus 5%. Generally, it's their light beers. And put them in the morning. So they're nice and cold when we come by the afternoon. We'll be rocking in around 4 or 5 o'clock after we've done a day surfing and stuff. And we go down there. I remember one day someone said, hey, man, you should try this stuff. And it was a rice wine, a rice liqueur sort of thing, or yeah, and really, really strong. And I drank some of it in a little Sprite bottle. I put about that much in, drank that, and I lost my voice for 5 days. And I like to talk, and it was the hardest thing ever. So I've had problems with my throat ever since, and I lose my voice. Anyway, bit of a story to share while I wait for some more questions to come in. Here we go. Let's fire away and see what Joe said. I'd love to have chickens like you have, Marty. I enjoy the eggs, but I wouldn't enjoy all the rats. Yeah, if you've got a rat problem, that can be a problem. I don't have a rat problem where I am. So, yeah, we've got currawongs. They'll eat the rats. We've got there's an owl, as an owl family that lives in our yard. We've also got kookaburras. Yeah, no worries, man. They just clean them up. No worries. Don't worry about the rats. The snakes will take care of them. That's what everyone says. Look, when I first moved in here, the backyard was just full of weeds and stuff. And when I was pulling some stuff, I come across a really big python, and he was right next to the chicken. And he must have just come out of the nest for hibernating through the winter. And I hit him with a hose. He was about 6 to 8 foot one, big one. He'd eat a chicken, no worries. Hit him with a hose to make sure he was cold, and grabbed him and threw him over the fence. And I've never seen him since. I think he might have hit the electric fence on the way over the cattle fence and gone, I'm out of here. I'm never coming back. We've got a nice green tree snake that stays here. And Shirley saw it once. She was in the hammock, and she's going, da, 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 the hammock. And I'm going, snake hunter. She's a green tree snake. She goes, ah. It was like out of a cartoon. The thing spun and she hit the deck, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't know she was so scared of snakes. Oh, so funny. Anyway, let's keep rolling. You got any more questions for me? I'm just getting off on my little stories there. Sorry, I spelt that wrong. Bamberger, a Dutch German potato currently on the at-risk list. They look like a dog poo. Oh, wow. Well, that looked really good to eat. I bet you they taste all right, though. That's right. Anyone got any more questions? We've been into this for an hour now. 22 people watching. Have you given it a thumbs up? They say you got to do the hype. I don't know about the hype thing. I reckon hype's a hoax myself. But if you want it, give us a hype. And, yeah, leave any questions down in the comments box. If you're coming and watching the rerun and you've gotten this far, if you really enjoy this type of stuff, come over and check us out at the Garden Creator Hub. There's a link in the description, and love to see you over there as a founding member. We are on, I think we're close to 90 members. It'd be great to reach 100 in the next day or two, and really make things happen over there. People are really active. 88% activity in there. Like, that's just unreal. People must be really enjoying it. I've got the stats to prove it. Anyway, let's keep rolling here. I want to see, I don't want to miss anything. Here we go. I have an old tractor tire. My stomach's starting to talk. I don't get too close to, I think you can hear it. I have an old tractor tire I was going to use as a garden bed. I was told not to use it as a rub chemicals break down. Any thoughts on this, Marty? Look, it really comes down to what you want to do. I don't recommend it, but then, you know, like if you're really struggling with, you know, people who haven't got no money, like I see stuff being done like in Southeast Asia, people growing things. I'm like, man, they wouldn't do that in the West. They just would not do it. But I'm going, and then you, in the back of your mind, you're going, but they've got twice as much money in the West, Marty, you know, like, and they want to have some food. So they're better off having fresh food and growing out of a tyre than not. And so my wife wanted to make some things with tyres recently. I said, no, there's too many chemicals in it. You know, we don't need it. But if I was dirt poor, I'd grow out of a tyre, no problem. It's just, I want to eat, you know, and I want to grow fresh food. And it takes a long time for these sort of things to break down and leach in the soils, but it's something that's really quite debatable when it comes to the cost of living and that whole thing of being healthy. So if you can afford not to, find another way. That would be what I reckon. Hang on. I don't want to miss anything. I better go back up. Queensland fruit fly. Excuse me if I've missed anyone. Do you have any trouble with Queensland fruit fly down there? If so, had any luck battling them? No, but I have had fruit fly problems over the years. At the moment, we don't really have one. I've got other things, but fruit fly traps are the only things that I know of so far. They're a real problem, I must admit. That's the only thing I can think of pretty much straight off the rack. And then if you're monocropping, they're just going to go from crop to crop to crop to crop. So what I do is I just grow what I can, and whatever's not working, just if it's infested, it just gets binned or burned. But yeah, if you want to have a go, yeah, fruit fly traps is the only thing. Like it's an ongoing battle with the Queensland fruit fly. I know that. I popped the question about 5 comments ago. Hopefully I get to it. I'm sorry if I've missed anything. Because I am dyslexic, so I might miss something. Because I can't, sometimes when I'm reading, I don't see what's there. That's one of the issues with the type of dyslexia that I have. Okay, I'm just going to have to go to where I was. If you put the question down there again, I'll see it, hopefully, as we move down the line. Farmers are complaining about potato prices. A lot of imports. Yeah, I don't know much about that sort of stuff. Sorry, so I can't really give a good answer. I know things are getting not cheap. Happy days. I heard that too and got rid of my tyres that I was going to use. And thanks. You're very welcome. No problem. It's what I'm here for. 23 people now watching. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do. And if they want to give a hype, like I said, I think it's a hoax, but you can do it anyway. And but yeah, drop over and check out my community where we all learn and grow together. And I do my vlogs in there, and my wife and I do food, garden to plate food vlogs, Filipino food vlogs, and people are loving those. We did the spring roll lumpia just recently, and it's actually, you can find it in the classroom. If you want that recipe, that's where you need to go, and the link is in the description. Here it goes. Yeah, don't use it. If you do, drill holes in the lower sides to allow water out. Like I said, look, if you're really struggling and, you know, like you just need something, you can use it and then just throw it away and then get something better later. I know you, like me, agree in gardening for mental health. Yes, true, Abby. How do you go when things go fanning up? Oh, now you've been really striking into, see my face change? Because, you know, I struggle with this. Yeah, for sure. I had a frost, whole garden green to black, knocked me for 2 months. How do you deal with setbacks? You know what? A couple of years back, we've had some things happen, but we had a really big hailstorm and it just wiped out my whole garden. Literally everything. It was some of the heaviest hail I'd ever seen. And it was pretty devastating for me. I was like, oh man, and then I was just like, okay, well, we start again and let's enjoy the challenge of restarting again. And I just go back into my head. I sort of like go and, I go and pray about it a bit, sort of reconnect. And then I'm like, okay, don't let it beat me. Let's just start again, start off slow, follow a model, just a few plants here, build out slowly until it becomes too big and you can't manage it all, and then sort of find where your balance is. But I think it's more just when you allow that negative thought pattern to just roll over and roll over. I watched a guy, he's a long distance runner. He does really well, and he was trained by Navy SEALs. And the Navy SEAL said to him, because he wanted to go further than he had been, and he said, whenever I get to 38 miles or whatever it is, my gears just go down every time. And he said, what you do, he says, when your body gets to that stage where it says, I'm really done, you're at 40%. That's where you're at. You're at 40%. So you've got another 60% to go. So I'm like, okay, so I'm at 0. Let's go to 40% where I say I can't do much, and then go again. And so it's like not allowing that sort of that chatter, that defeated chatter, and just go, I'm just really going to enjoy the next experience of doing what I do. And if, we have some problems and things go wrong, which they do in the garden all the time, then we just refocus. And yeah, I just try, and probably the simplest way is just remove that chatter of disappointment, and just look at the bright future ahead and go, yeah, it's going to be good. I'm going to do this. I'm going to watch that grow. It's going to be really enjoyable watching it come back. And that's changed the mindset. It is a very, it's a very difficult thing. And my daughter, she has, she has a mental health issues, and yeah, we've got to go over that quite a lot. So I've learned a lot more about that recently, because she's autistic, and yeah, we face that. She faces that every day. So it's become more structured in our lives, so to speak. So yeah, hopefully that's helped in some way, Abby. Just create new goals, start again, and just don't let it defeat you. And just don't overdo it. When you overdo it, and then the catastrophe can be much bigger than it is. So just take our time and just structure out again. All right, so there we go. We've been running for 1 hour and 12 minutes and 27 seconds. 22 people watching. I'm sure that there's going to be a couple more questions. We will fire away. I'll take, we'll go for another, let's say, what is it now? We'll go to another, so 1 hour, 15 minutes, then I'm going to say goodbye. Starting to lose my voice now. And I think I might do another one of these soon. So keep an eye open for me. And just depending on what the missus is doing over the next couple of nights, we might come on. And then we'll see if I can schedule certain nights to come on here and ask you the questions and tighten the community back together. If you haven't checked out the Garden Creator Hub, where I've got other YouTuber friends joining and sharing, and you can connect with them and meet them also, and meeting other local-minded people. We've got people from Ireland. I just interviewed Cormac from, it's called the Vine Podcast. That was our very first recording, and it came out great. And he some awesome information there. They get stored into the classroom as well, which is really, really cool. And hopefully we'll see you there. There's a link in the description, and I will just check. I'm going to take 3 more questions, and then I'm going to say goodbye. Yeah, it can always grow back. That's what Craig Perry said for sure. Marty, I struggle with sooty mold and moss. I've cut down some trees to keep airflow. What is the best thing to do? I have trees both sides. Yeah, just get the airflow going. That's the best thing you can do. And you can actually remove some trees. Have one tree growing 1 year and one tree not growing the next year, and just take new central leaders again. Make sure you cut above the graft so you can do that. And that's one way that we did it on the farm to keep productivity going and airflow going when the trees get too big. So yeah, you can have more trees than you need sometimes, but you just got to choose which one's going to fruit in that season, if that makes sense. All right, so please say goodbye to everyone in here. My wife's getting ready she works nights, so she's just about ready to do a bit of a night shift. So I will say goodbye, but so true, brother. Once you get out there and get moving, it's better. Like surfing and braving the cold, you get out before you know, and you motivate us. Yeah, surfing is definitely one of those things. And put on the wetsuit, and then you get out and you catch a few waves. You go, this is awesome. Gardening's like that too. Do you use pH soil test kits? I do from time to time, but if everything's growing good, I don't worry. I just keep adding compost, adding carbon, and just keep building soils and working on habitat, and I find that works good. But you know, you can use them, just don't get too carried away with it, because all of a sudden you start adding this and adding that. Just build soils and build habitat, and the soil will generally rebalance itself to where it's supposed to be. Thank you, Nathan. Bless you, brother. And how do you prevent aphids? I'm going to answer this really quickly because I do need to go. You need to keep the ants off your plants because they spread the aphids. So stop the ants from spreading the aphids around, and you've got that. All right, look, I've got to go, guys. Sorry to say, if you've got any more questions, I'll try and get on here again tomorrow night or on Saturday night, maybe even the 2 in a row. Definitely be one or the other. And I'll be also answering other people's questions over at the Garden Creator Hub. Link in the description. Hopefully we'll see you there. And it's been absolutely awesome. Thank you for coming. I'm going to have a chat with the missus before she goes and does her night shift. All right. Happy gardening, guys. And we'll see you at the next video or live show over at the Garden Creator Hub. Remember, link in the description. You really got, I know I'm pushing it, but it's a great place. And I'd love to see you there. Bye for now.